Hi folks, in this tutorial we'll learn how to use animate.css with the Gutenberg page editor in WordPress. On this post, animations have been added to 3 blocks. Animate.css also has a delay capability. There are 4 steps needed to set up animate.css on your WordPress site. First, copy the animate.css file to your theme's CSS folder. Next, open your theme's functions.php file in a text editor or the theme editor in your site's dashboard. Add an entry in the enqueue scripts function for the animate.css file. This will add a link to it in the head of your site. Third, you need to create an add action method that loads the enqueued scripts into the head. This may already be there in a pre-built theme. Finally, add the animate.css classes to any Gutenberg block that you want to animate. If this sounds a bit complicated, don't panic. I'll run through it in the next 10 minutes or so. Animate.css is a JavaScript library that lets you animate any element by adding a class. It has a number of different categories, including attention getters, entrances and exits, and specials. Go to dane.github.io/animate.css and click on the download link. This will open a page with all the code. Right click and then click on Save As. Save it to your theme's CSS folder. To load the library, you need to include it in the header of your WordPress theme. The theme shown here was a custom design, so all the files are on the local machine. Open your theme's function.php file. You can also access this file from the back end via the WordPress editor in your dashboard. Most themes have a script enqueue function that lets you add files to the head of a theme. This is the correct way to do it in WordPress. On line 10, the WP enqueue script method is used to include the animate.css file. Line 11 includes a custom JavaScript file that we will come to later. Check out the WordPress codex for more on WP enqueue scripts and the add action function. On the front end of the site, if you refresh the page, you can see the animated blocks. Go to the dashboard and make sure that block is selected on the right. Scroll to the bottom of the right hand menu and open the advanced drop down. At the bottom is the additional CSS class box. Different animations and delays have been added to each block. Here I am adding another heading block. If you go to the GitHub page for animate.css, you can see all the options. You need to prefix all the animations with the word animated, then the type of animation and the delay. Save the page and then go back to the front end to test the animations. Next we look at how to hardwire animations into a custom theme. We also add a scroll detect capability with a bit of jQuery. When a user scrolls down a particular number of pixels, the animation is triggered. It can be tricky to add animate.css to a WordPress theme. Here I explain how to add it to a custom theme. It will also work with any of the WordPress default themes. On this site it is used to add a bit of sparkle with a bouncing intro. The animate.css class is added to your theme's homepage template. In the case here, this is a custom theme that uses template parts. In the page editor you can set a custom template. In this case the template is named Showcase and used for the home page only. Here in Visual Studio Code you can see the folder and file structure of the theme. The page template is named page-showcase.php. The template name is included at the top of the file so that WordPress knows that it is a template. After the template comment, the header is included. This is a custom header that is named Home. Your theme will probably use the standard header. Next is the WordPress loop that loops through posts and pages. This theme uses template parts to make the content more modular and easier to maintain. The first parameter is the slug that is used to prefix the template part. The second is the name. The template part is then named content-home.php. This is the template-home.php template part. The animate.css class is added to a div that wraps the showcase content. The animated fade in down class is self-explanatory. Your theme will have a different structure, although it should not be too difficult to find the element that you want to animate. The next task is to create a delay that will animate the blog list shown. In your theme's main folder, create a .js folder, then create a custom JavaScript file and save it to the folder. Go back to your theme's function.php file and enqueue the script in the same way as the animate.css file we did earlier. Make sure that jQuery is included as a dependency. This is the custom JavaScript file. First we set a variable to the desired number of pixels down the page, in this case 200. When the page is 200 pixels down, the animation will trigger. To detect when a user scrolls down and how far down it has been scrolled, you can use a couple of jQuery methods. The first is scroll. This fires every time the window is scrolled. Scroll top detects the window's scroll position in pixels, with 0 being at the top. When the user scrolls the page, an anonymous function fires. On line 13, the current scroll position is stored in a variable. Next, an if statement compares the current position with the position that was set earlier. If there is a match, a class is added to the post wrapper element. The animation is then triggered. That completes the tutorial. I will put a link to the GitHub page for the theme used so that you can copy the code.